to start way up here, in the middle of the outer space? Are you going to be right up close so I can see that there's a little hair right here? How close are you going to be, right? What I did was I started my story with Jezebel on the edge of this giant building, 80 stories up, several hundred feet up. And she's about to do her first jump with this special pack called an elevation suit. So imagine if you're standing at the edge of that building and you've been given a little bit of training, right? But not, this is the situation where you really have to just suck it up and jump. And that's exactly what her mentor, this girl named Laura, says. So this is the first chapter. It's called Grid Angels, and it starts like this. They say your first elevation drop is like your first kiss. Your legs give way as the world disappears around you, and all you can do is hold on, even if what you're holding on to is only lightning. Just suck in your fear and jump, Jezebel. You can do this. Laura, my speaker, my sponsor in the Ragtag Whirly-Girlies, whispers in my ear as she adjusts the straps on my elevation suit, or L suit. Every tug constricts my body like when they put your arm in that sleeve to test your blood pressure. Suddenly, I feel what it must have been like for women back in old days. Back when you had to wear those tight bodices under your clothes, like a second skin. I don't know if you guys knew that, but back in the day, women, in order to be more, slim and be more attractive to men, they had to wear these ridiculous armor under their skin that just sucked them in like this. So what Jezebel is doing is thinking about how this is almost like a metaphor for that, right? The only difference is that my bodice is a state-of-the-art jumpsuit, complete with a set of carbon fiber wings that allow me to glide down from 80-story buildings like it's no problem at all. Price tag? Somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000. Although nobody deals in paper money anymore, it's all IB these days. Iridium blue, the precious metal they found under the ground in old Boston during the last year of the Big Dig, before the world fell apart, before the grid got built. The grid. Looking down from the ledge, I can see the enemy of every non-naturalized citizen of the new satellite Republic of America. That's the name that this Boston area gets called. Its name has changed. The grid is a living, breathing digital organism tied to everyone and everything in the NSRA. It's a 24-hour surveillance system, and even the spotlights and trash cans are dialed into it. It's how they've kept all the illegals out since the great day of closing, the day old Boston died and the NSRA was born. Basically, if your blood and skin cells don't match the data stored on the grid system, forget about it. You're already dead. Your two choices are, A, go underground and become an RAT, a random already toast, or B, rise above the grid, RATG. We've taken the liberty of adding a few more letters to spell Ragtag, which expresses our guild philosophy. The gangs I was telling you about, they're called guilds. Which expresses our guild philosophy of blending anything we can get our hands on. Books on engineering, mechanics, kung fu, ballet, hip-hop, anything with raw potential energy, and then using this knowledge to battle the grid. As for the Whirly-Girlies part, well, that's all Laura. She's the guild's big sister, its oldest member at 19 and reigning leader. Not long ago, she found this poster from back in the 20th, still hanging in one of the display cases in the Museum of America. That's in Boston. They have a museum called the Museum of Fine Arts. And one of the wings is dedicated to all kind of posters and art from the different areas of America. Since most of Boston was leveled in the last war, the poster was a real find. But it wasn't the idea of selling the old poster on the black market that made Laura stop in her tracks. It was the images she saw inside the poster. Images of two women dressed from head to toe in beads and feathers, wearing these bright-colored costumes, perched above an awestruck crowd. Above their heads hang the words, "The Astonishing Whirly-Girlies." I've uploaded a scan of the poster to the text of this document so you can see for yourself. So I'll take a little pause here. This is just a sketch that I did, just kind of out of the blue. When I start working with a real illustrator for my book, they're going to take that idea and be able to make it more interesting and probably draw a lot better than I can. But going back back to that idea of the spark. I had to put this drawing down, even as rough as it was, in order to find that this would be a good part in the book to give people like yourself who are reading it just an idea of what that old poster Laura found looks like. So just to review what we've talked about, this girl has found this old poster that survived all the wars and all the bombs, and it has these women who are these trapeze artists perched up high above like the big top. I don't know if you guys ever been to the Big Apple Circus or one of the circuses in New York. You'll get that feeling of all those people. So these girls who are this gang of women who fly around, they said, well man, this will be a great symbol or a great metaphor for how we want to live our lives. We want to be above everybody. We want to not be held down. So that's what becomes part of their kind of philosophy. The first thing you think when you see the picture is that the women don't look like women at all, but like birds about to jump from one ledge to the next. At least that's what Laura thought when she scored the picture and took it back for everyone to see. It wasn't hard to see the similarity. The big top rising above the women was like a cage, just like the grid, and the world below, filled with all the nets and terror you can imagine. Well, it might as well be our own. Right then and there, Laura knew that the abandoned part of the museum would be the future home of the Ragtag Whirly-Girlies, the greatest guild of female thieves to ever walk, no fly, across the face of the earth. As for the poster, it would become the guild's holy relic, its Bible without words, perhaps its whole reason for being. The only problem is that to become a Ragtag Whirly-Girly, you have to pass a series of tests to prove that you've got what it takes. And it just so happens that my recruitment starts today. It's elevation drop or flop day, as the girls say. I'm just hoping that whatever Laura sees in me will be enough to get me to the other ledge, the one I can barely make out through the fog created by the environmental pollution, a bluish-gray line about 100 feet down from where I'm standing. I know that between me and the other ledge there are about a dozen invisible force fields, organic sensors that will try to lock on me, determine my blood type, let me live, or alert the Republican security system's watchdogs to kill me. Either way, my fate will be decided in less time it takes for you to tie your own shoelace.